Hello. Of late, my yoga practice has been veering more and more towards a text called the Hatha Pradipika or the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, which is a 15th century text by Swatmarama. And most of the things that we do in yoga class, in practice, like the techniques and the methods that we follow, including asana, pranayama, kumbhaka, mudra, bandha, laya, all these things are mentioned. Not only mentioned, they're described in detail in the Hatha text. So, so what I'm saying is that I'm going more towards the Hatha practice at this point. And I have also been sharing some of the techniques that it proposes. And I started with the pranayam techniques. So we did a video on Ujjayi last time, and now we're going to do the next practice called Suryabhedana. What is also very interesting about this text is that in the chapter called pranayam, under pranayam, it lists techniques like Ujjayi, Suryabhedana, Shitali, Shitakari, but doesn't put them under the category of pranayam, but under the category of kumbhaka, which is holding the breath after the inhale. So it is almost what it's trying to say is that the purpose of pranayam is kumbhaka, the hold, or the suspension of breath rather. I don't want to use the word hold because hold implies like holding the breath, but suspension is to get absorbed in this in the breath itself and become suspended. So the technique that we're working today is called Suryabhedana. As most of you know, the body is divided into the right is the sun, influenced by the sun energy, and the left is the moon energy. So the hot and the cold, the hard and the soft. So this is the drawing in of the sun energy from the right nostril and exhaling from the left nostril repeatedly without alternating nostrils as we would do in, say, Nadi Shodhan. But more than the technique of just breathing from the right and exhaling from the left, it is the kumbhaka, it is the holding, it is the suspending of the breath between the inhale and the exhale that is of utmost importance. And we have to kind of slowly grow into that ease of holding the breath. Ease is very, very important. The factor of ease is super important. This holding should be easeful as opposed to panicky, so to speak. So we have to very gradually, very slowly, very carefully begin to build this duration or elasticize this duration of the hold after the inhale. So before we actually start doing the technique, I would call upon you to do a bit of arithmetic. It requires arithmetic because if people have done this Yoga Sutras, Kala, Sankhya are very, very important. So it is, and arithmetic is very important. So what I want you to do is to sit down comfortably, inhale, and hold the breath for as long as you comfortably can. You can go into the margin of where you begin to feel slightly challenged before you actually begin to panic. So getting into that margin where there's a bit of a challenge is all right, but don't exceed the hold into a point where you begin to feel panic, at this point at least. So whatever the duration is, now this is where you apply arithmetic. You divide that by 5, and this is what I'm proposing this is not written in the book, but this is what I'm proposing for practical reasons. Also because this is on a video and we're not in a class where we can be monitored. So divide that duration by 5. Inhale through the right, and after inhaling from the right, hold 1/5 of this count because we're going to slowly, incrementally build this hold. So we're going to work on this elasticizing the hold. After 1/5 of hold, breathe out through the left nostril, inhale, breathe in through the right. Again, hold for 2/5 of the duration, exhale from the left, so on, then 3/5, then 4/5 on the 4th breath, and on the 5th breath, you hold the whole number as long as you were able to when you tested it. And if you want to, you can repeat this whole number hold for a few times, and then you scale down similarly in the same manner, decrementing it, so to speak, with every subsequent breath. So the come down to, from the whole number come down to 4/5, then the next breath come down to 3/5, then 2/5, and then 1/5, and then normal. So I'm going to actually demonstrate this for you. And for practical reasons, so also it's not very short, let me pretend that my hold is 15 seconds. Now, some of you might be able to hold it for much longer. Some of you might be able to hold it for a minute or even longer. But remember, it has to be comfortable. So right now, for practical, for just the for demonstration purposes, I am saying that my breath hold is 15 counts. So I'm going to begin by calming my breath first, shutting my left nostril completely, and then breathing in from my right nostril. Inhale. So I've done a few breaths, 5 going up, 4 coming down. That means I've done 9 breaths. And I've actually broken into a slight sweat. Yeah. And I've just done a very short hold. My breath capacity might be much longer than that. I've done a short hold. And the other thing that to remember is that the inhale and the exhale is free. So you don't need to count the inhale and the exhale duration at this point. Let that be. The only thing that we are counting is the hold, and we are gently, yuktam is the word that he uses. Shanaihi, slowly, bit by bit. You stretch that hold, elasticize it, 1 breath at a time, and then equally important to bring it back. You don't stretch it and leave it there. It'll snap. Yeah, you want to bring it commandingly, holding it slowly, bring it back to where you started and let it rest there. Now, the benefits of this are A, it is heat producing. As I said, I've already kind of broken into a sweat. A, because we are holding, that is heat producing. There's tapas in that. And also we are breathing in from the right nostril, which is also heat producing. So there are 2 heat producing things. Number second, what it does is that as we are retaining the breath, suspending the breath, and holding the inhale within the body, it kind of elasticizes the lungs. It stretches open the lungs and oxygenates the lungs, the corners of the lungs, the crevices of the lungs, which don't necessarily open when we are breathing normally. But this forces open, so to speak, the lungs from the inside, and not just forces them open, but keeps them open, sustains that opening for a while, like when we are holding the breath and just holding for 15 counts or whatever, and then slowly releasing. So by holding the breath for a longer time, we are really kind of letting oxygen go into the crevices, the ends, the corners of the lungs. So both these things are very, very good for the lungs and the respiratory system. And Swatmaraman in the Pradipika actually says that this particular technique of Kumbhaka, called Suryabhedana, is very good for so to speak, killing any foreign bodies in the body, like parasites or bacteria, and I would even say virus. So this is a good technique to try, especially in days like these where we are very, very scared to have our lungs compromised. So I would recommend this particular technique for the times that we're going through right now. And of course, also for general health of the respiratory system. But please remember that this has to be done very gently and very slowly and judiciously. So just keep watching, like it is your body and your practice. You don't want to harm yourself. Do not be overambitious. In fact, do not be ambitious. It's a very realistic, modest practice of elasticizing, gently, leisurely elasticizing, as opposed to just forcefully elasticizing the capacity of the lungs by increasing the capacity of the suspension of the breath after the inhale. I hope this has been helpful. And of course, goes without saying, do it only if it suits you. So try it once and see if it suits you, because it's not one thing that fits and suits everybody. So just see if it suits you and practice it only if you feel comfortable with it and if you feel that it is suitable for you. If you even have the slightest doubt that this is not really making you feel good, then please, there are many other options of breathing and of course other practices that might be available to you. So thank you very much, and I hope this is of some help, especially in times that we are in right now. Thank you.